Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So we're going to get right into it. Hopefully, people will join later. I have some matters that I have to attend to, so I'm going to have to make this a quick hangout. First, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Just bear with me 1 second. So I saw this story yesterday about a referee forcing a black wrestler to cut off his dreadlocks before he started his match. Basically, they told him that either he had to cut off his locks or he had to forfeit the match. And this is ridiculous. The person that made this call, his name is hold on 1 second. Yeah, so the wrestler's name is Andrew Johnson. They forced him to cut off his locks. And the referee who um, made this call, who basically said that this brother had to cut off his locks, this referee's name is Alan Maloney. Um, this guy actually has a history of racism. He used a racial slur during an incident a while ago where, from what I understand, he basically called this black man a nigger. They try to dance around it, but we know that that's what it was about. And then he claims that he didn't recall using that term and all that kind of stuff. So this is a guy with a history of racism telling this black wrestler that he has to cut off his locks or forfeit, this particular match. It's just crazy that he would have to forfeit a match. And because, the thing that makes this so outrageous is that if people have long hair, they're allowed to cover up their hair, and that's initially what this brother tried to do. He tried to cover up his hair and engage in the match. And this referee is going to tell him that he has to cut off his locks. And then this white woman right here proceeded to cut off his locks. So you had the white ref and you had this white person, this white woman proceed to cut off this brother's locks and stuff. And I think that this is just outrageous. And I'm going to read a little segment where they talk about the hair covering. Before I go on, because in here they talk about like how people are allowed to cover their hair. Yeah, it said wrestlers are allowed to wear legal hair covers during matches, according to the wrestling rules. So it says that if a wrestler's hair in its natural state extends below the earlobe on the sides or touches the top of his normal shirt, it's required to be secured by a hair cover. So why didn't they have that implemented here? That's what should have happened instead of forcing this brother to go through the indignity of having his locks cut off in front of the whole world. So it wasn't just like in front of the people there. This has gone viral because they videotaped this whole incident. As far as I'm concerned, this is just an attempt to break this brother down, to emasculate this brother, to punk him, to just humiliate him. And, this is outrageous, and this conduct should be roundly condemned, and this referee should be removed from his post. This is a referee that's used the N-word. This is a referee who's showing utter disrespect for this black man. Now, we know that if this was a white kid with long hair, they would have just had him cover his hair up. But because these people detest African people and African features, they got this brother cutting off his locks. So this is outrageous, and I hope that action is taken against this referee for doing this. As I was watching this white woman cut his locks, it just made me think about Samson from the Bible, like how Samson's locks were cut to diminish his strength and power and stuff. And that's essentially what they're metaphorically doing here, like trying to diminish the power of this black man. But this black brother still prevailed in his match. He won his match. But even though he won his match, he lost part of his dignity when he allowed these people to cut his hair off. and allowed these people to humiliate him and stuff. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to see what you all are saying before I sign out. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And again, I will have another hangout I will have a couple of additional hangouts on my other channels. So you all look out for those. Let me see what people are saying before I sign out. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. And I just want to hear from y'all. Do you prefer the live format, or would you prefer that I do pre-recorded videos? So I want to hear from y'all on that, like the people that are watching now, and even people that watch later once this is on playback. I'm interested in hearing from you, because I'm thinking about like having it, my channel set up in such a way where I do regular videos, maybe record those videos and upload them, and then just like once a week do a live thing, or just let me know what you prefer. I'm really interested in hearing from y'all. So let me see what people are saying. Shout out to Miss Mahogany. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I wonder if other groups are going to speak out on this issue. I mean, this is a situation where, this referee did engage in racist activity. I mean, he is humiliating this brother because of his locks. We've seen examples where people have been discriminated against for wearing locks and stuff like that. And there was actually a court decision that basically said that people are allowed to discriminate against people based on hairstyles and stuff like that, which is a horrible decision, man, because that can be used in a way to discriminate against Black people. Nobody should suffer this kind of indignity because of them wearing their natural hair. Nobody should be penalized in this way. And when you see things like this, it makes it clear why Black people had this stigma around natural hair and stuff like that. All these years of programming where they basically try to teach us that our natural hair is ugly, that somehow in order to have beautiful hair, you have to have long and straight hair like the European and stuff like that, or blonde hair and stuff like that. And we wonder why we see our sisters wearing these wigs and weaves and all that kind of stuff, because this society constantly beats down our Africanness, our African nature and stuff like that, and tell us we got to be more European. And that's basically the message that this referee was telling this brother, that he got to be more European. He got to be like the Europeans and stuff. Disrespecting this brother because he got his natural hair. This is insane, man. Shout out to Frankie Robertson. Yeah, happy holidays to all of y'all, man. I hope y'all have a great Christmas and a happy New Year for those that celebrate. Happy Kwanzaa to brothers and sisters who celebrate Kwanzaa. Yeah, and they said that like after the match, like this brother had to be consoled. Like people had to comfort him because he was so upset about having to cut off his locks in front of all these people. So in a way, even though he like Miss Mahogany is saying, even though he won that match, he had to look at defeat on his face because of what they did to him. They tried to, like she said, they took his crown of glory. That's what they did. In a figurative sense, like his hair is literally like his crown. And basically these people tried to take his crown and take his shine, man, by having his brother subject himself to that kind of humiliation. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I post new content.